Airplane crash, on fire, little man can't get out, whispered by a 2-year-old boy terrified from nightmares no child should have. Who was this little man? How could he know the name of a secret World War II aircraft carrier? James Leininger was born in 1998 in San Francisco to Andrea and Bruce Leininger, a modern, educated couple with no expectations of anything unusual. From a toddler age, James was obsessed with airplanes. Not toys at first, but the real aircraft, their parts, and their stories, though his parents never exposed him to war documentaries or military lore. At 2 years old, James began to suffer intense nightmares. He woke screaming, crying out phrases that chilled his parents. Airplane crash, on fire, little man can't get out. These were not simple bad dreams, but vivid recollections that would puncture the innocence of his early childhood. His parents' skepticism clashed with their growing concern. How could a toddler grasp such specific language about burning planes? The boy didn't just mimic random words. He knew the names and functions of fighter planes and parts with uncanny precision. He corrected his mother once about a drop tank on the underside of a plane, a detail utterly outside typical toddler knowledge. At 28 months, James confounded his wary father by naming an obscure World War II American escort carrier, Natoma. A few weeks later, he added another name, Jack Larson, the name of a pilot's friend. These discoveries compelled Bruce to investigate. He found the USS Natoma Bay, a real escort carrier active during World War II in the Pacific Theater, and learned about a pilot named James Huston Jr., killed during a 1945 battle near Iwo Jima. James Leininger inexplicably knew intimately the fate of this man, the exact manner his plane was shot down, the names of comrades, and the final crash site. What started as a parent's strange bedtime story turned into a puzzle reaching back 60 years, a window into a life ended in war, but seemingly reborn in a toddler's mind. Skepticism shadowed the Leiningers' journey. Bruce, the pragmatic father, set out determined to debunk the theory that their son carried memories from another life. Yet James's knowledge deepened, and the frequent fiery nightmares persisted, spiking to multiple times a week. The turning point came when Bruce attended a veterans meeting of the USS Natoma Bay crew. The reunion was somber. Bruce listened to memories echoing a war long past but alive in these aged faces. Veterans recognized the names James uttered. Jack Larson was real, a rear gunner on the very flight with the pilot James now claimed to be. Their stories matched tightly with the boys' nightmares and play-acted recitals. One old picture showed the battle where the pilot's plane was hit by Japanese anti-aircraft fire concentrated in the engine. James described the plane hit, right in the middle of the engine, a detail confirmed by eyewitness veterans but unknown to the family before research. James himself identified the aircraft as a Corsair, a World War II fighter plane famously difficult to land due to frequent tire blowouts, a fact he stated matter-of-factly despite no prior exposure at home. As his understanding grew, so did his emotional depth. During a rare pause in his tale, Andrea reflected on how the boy's innocent play had morphed into something heavier, an echo of sacrifice and loss too profound for his years. Even family friends thought the boy was an ordinary child obsessed with planes until James's unique knowledge crept into conversations. His mother's initial doubts melted slowly, replaced by a cautious belief in something beyond conventional explanation. The investigation led to a personal encounter with Ann Barron, sister of James Huston Jr. She initially met the boy with disbelief, but soon recognized personal family details from James's speech. A painting in her childhood home, a nickname used only within their family. This meeting blurred the lines between skepticism and belief for all involved. The climax of this extraordinary story arrived as the Leiningers delved deeper into historical records and met more veterans and family members connected to James Huston Jr. The boy's recollections were not random fragments, but a patchwork of meticulously accurate details about the pilot's life and violent death. James's father, once the main skeptic, found his doubts eroding. The weight of the evidence, the names, aircraft specifics, crash site coordinates, was too exacting to dismiss as coincidence or fantasy. James had repeatedly described how his plane was shot down over Chichijima in March 1945, and that he flew off the USS Natoma Bay, verified facts coinciding perfectly with James Huston's last mission. James even daily referred to himself as James III, a mysterious moniker that historians later linked to Huston's formal name, James M. Huston Jr. The third seemed to represent the boy's sense of a legacy continuing beyond death. The emotional peak came when James met Anne Barron again, now fully convinced the boy was connected to her brother in a profound, intangible way. She described it as a miracle and a painful reminder of a family lost to war. But this revelation carried a bittersweet aftertaste. James's frequent nightmares waned as he grew older, yet the shadows of that wartime sacrifice lingered in the family's consciousness. For Andrea and Bruce, the boys' memories were neither a playful fancy nor a distant tale. It was a living connection to history and loss. Their journey culminated in the book Sole Survivor, co-written by Andrea and Bruce, chronicling James's experiences and the painstaking research that validated much of his story. It remains one of the most documented cases suggesting reincarnation in the Western world, examined closely by Dr. Jim Tucker and others in the field of paranormal studies. James Leininger's story challenges firm beliefs about identity, memory, and the afterlife, leaving a haunting question. Could this child truly carry the soul and memories of a World War II fighter pilot? Or is this a remarkable twist of coincidence and the human mind? The echoes of James Leininger's memories ripple far beyond his childhood. Decades after his supposed past life ended in flames over the Pacific, his family and countless others have grappled with the impact of this strange, profound connection. The Leiningers' story sparked debate in both scientific and spiritual communities, challenging the boundaries of what we consider possible about consciousness and reincarnation. Legally, no action followed. There is no precedent for reincarnation in courts or official records, but socially, the story deepened bonds between families separated by war and augmented historical remembrance. It raised profound questions on memory, identity, and the enduring human spirit. How much of who we are is tied to memory, and could those memories transcend death? For viewers, James's story is a delicate invitation to reflect on the nature of existence, suffering, and the mysteries beyond life. Is reincarnation a tangible reality or a compelling narrative born from trauma and human psychology? And how do we find hope or healing from stories such as this, tethered to loss and war, yet suffused with empathy? This story respects the pain and memory of lost souls, while igniting a compassionate conversation about the profound human yearning to understand what lies beyond our mortal limits.
Don't forget to subscribe to Real Mystery Reports for more strange, dark, and profoundly human stories. New true mysteries every day.